take y'all somewhere a little more private to discuss something that means something to me. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Let me get a like, let me get a holler, let me get a high, let me get a dollar. Hey, rise and shine, let's go. Listen, it's good to see y'all, man. Y'all are y'all are in the middle of one heaven of a I wouldn't call it a glow up, but transformation, transcendence. I don't even know what we would call it. Where are we going in private? We just going somewhere just to, just to let that sun hit us. Just kind of be out of the way, off in the cut. Don't want too many of the wrong folks to catch wind of what we building over here. But everybody's welcome. But anyway, yeah, grand rise and all that good stuff. I don't say that, but thank you, thank you. Back to you, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I had a crazy. I'm gonna ask y'all this. Anybody, go ahead and like. Give me a like if you meditate on a regular basis. And before y'all say something, I try not to drink too much of these, but this bad boy is good. The only reason I'm drinking this right now is because I got to work out and everybody in my home was asleep. And if I had used the Keurig, or even if I had boiled water, because we got such a small house right now, I would have woke up the whole house to make my green tea. Because what I'm doing is making the transition into drink green tea before my workouts instead of pre-workout. I'm kind of making my own herbal pre-workout. Mm. All right, so we got one like for people that meditate. So I um I wouldn't call it I wouldn't say that I discovered a new method, but I have been perfecting a means of meditation. Let me just let y'all know this. Once you get to a certain level of meditation, you start to be able to blur the lines, or you start to be able to bring some of that mindset into your waking life. So over the past almost a week, I've been extremely grounded and extremely present. Um, and part of it is because I do a meditation that it's one of the silver method meditations. Let's go. You got to meditate daily. But one of the things that I've been concerned with is let me get this part of the sun out my face real quick. One of the things, man, hey, if I had my beard going, you get the 100% real all me. But hey, this is what we got right now. Golly, excuse me, I'm burping all up in your face, man. I gotta. Let me get somewhere where we won't be gobsmacked so much with the sun. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. I apologize. My deepest condolences. Uh, okay. I like this. Let's try this out. Let's see how this does us. Sun don't want to leave us alone. Sun don't want to leave us alone. Man, I do too. If anybody knows my family, the men in my family, at least as far as it pertains to my father's side, we all rock beards. We all rock beards. It's a rite of passage being a West. That's just how it is. All right, I got one more try at this parking situation, and then I'm stopping. Got a little got a little cougar action right here. Let me let her pass. Let this cougar pass. Oh, you're all right. You're all right. When you're ready, we will let you back into the beer game, man. Bro, I'm ready. I'm ready, man. I'm one of the coolest things about a beer. So what y'all are gonna see is over the next few days, I'm gonna get back to the meditation topic. And I got a scheduled live today that's gonna talk about how to make huge mental shifts in less time. What I'm Man, I honestly wish I could. I really want to. I really want to make a course and make all of this stuff available, but it would take it's so much of a tremendous amount of time for me to put into words and videos and all that stuff. I think it would be worth it, but I don't want to do it. Like I'd want to set it up to where yeah, you pay for it, but it'd be something that if you did not see a huge shift within a certain period of time, then you'd get your money back. That's how I roll. But anyway, what are y'all gonna see over the next couple of weeks, days, weeks? Y'all are gonna see a lot of changes to, I'm not gonna say appearance, but you're gonna see you're gonna see a new ring. I already got so underneath this, I've got onyx necklace, and I'm gonna tell you why. I've got a onyx signet ring that I'm working on making like a staple in not just my business but just for my family as well, because historically signet rings were used in family clans to show prominence, royalty, and it was almost used as like a way of showing where you come from, who you are, and what you stand for. They would have these big signet rings that they would use to stamp instead of writing signatures on pieces of documentation, paper, and all. To know that I I spent the work to find timeless information that helped them out in all aspects of life, right? So while you're gonna see all this stuff come about, like you're seeing the necklace. Honestly, this necklace I was drawn to this. I didn't even I'll explain the story if y'all want to hear about it, but I didn't seek out this necklace. I sought out the silver rope necklace because I was buying it for something else. But this piece right here just spoke to me. I mean, not in a way where like I verbally heard it, but I just thought it was beautiful. It was timeless. It matched my style. It felt like me. Then I found out what it represents. So the human language, everything we see, videos, TV, all that stuff. The reason why humans are so easily influenced is because we communicate through a medium of symbolism. Language is a placeholder for symbolism and what things actually feel and mean to us, right? So if I tell you right now, if I tell you right now to um, think of a paycheck, think of your paycheck. The fact that I'm using those words are actually a placeholder for how you internally imagine that paycheck and the feeling associated with that. That's why the ancient Egyptian language and Kemet, Mesopotamia, that's why their hieroglyphs are so important. It's because the way that they wrote were they used symbolism to represent the physical world and the feelings in relation to them. So anyway, you're gonna see. I said that to say you're gonna see a lot of man. I'm burping because of this damn pre-workout. You're gonna see a whole lot of things that change about my appearance as it comes to jewelry. I'm not normally a big jewelry person, but this all ties into the meditation tips. Um, I'm not a huge jewelry person, but my grandfather, my grandfather was 2 Chainz before 2 Chainz, right? My grandfather used to wear a talisman on his neck, and I used to think it was so cool. I never knew what it was, but it was a talisman that was an Italian French horn, and it was supposed to represent vitality, sexual virality, and health, longevity, kind of like the Ankh. And I used to think it was the coolest. Well, he also had a ring that was a horseshoe, gold, silver, and diamonds. And man, my grandfather would show up in my games, and people would be like, "Yo, is your grandfather a pimp? Like, yeah, he's decked out. Like, what does he do?" Da 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 da. And as I'm getting older, I'm learning. I'm starting to see bits and pieces of my father and my grandfather like come up within my spirit in a new way. Um, so basically, what I'm doing is I'm breaking down generational curses. Um, if y'all checked out my Instagram, I'm not on there. I'm not super active, but I posted something talking about your family will talk shit about you while you're trying to break all of their generational curses. This ain't for the weak. It's a fact. Um, so I say all that to drum all that up to go back to the topic of this video. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of stuff that I'm wearing, I'll have, da 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 da. And it is because in my meditations, what I have done is not only have I done the meditation by Silva, which is the Silva method meditation that uses hand gestures to uh, elicit a certain type of feeling related to your meditation. So this hand gesture is supposed to drum up feelings of the target image of the human being that I want to be, the mindset, the things that I want in life are messing with me in spiritual warfare. What can I do? I feel like demons are messing with me in spiritual warfare. What can I do? I have. Um, I'm so you can do meditations to help with that. Uh, to be real with you, as far as demons and things like that go, if you feel like that's the case, I'm not the type of person that's going to tell you to use sage and use crystals and things like that. Me personally, I think that that stuff works if you're already spiritually in tune. But I'm gonna tell you something that's very interesting. This right here, these two, this onyx, uh, this is an onyx beaded necklace, and this is black tourmaline. And I was drawn to this. This caused me to get the black onyx. Man, y'all like follow me, man. I'm not all right. Understand to be piggyback off what I said about the symbolism. When I learned what this does and what it's like ancient purpose handed down through generations. They use black tourmaline to transmute negative energy, to keep demonic forces away, to keep evil eye away, to keep voodoo away, to keep. It was seen as um, an ancient way of protection and grounding for oneself. Same with the black onyx. The black onyx is a protective stone, but it also signifies power, focus, strength to getting one's goals. So the ring that I have is a gold ring, and it'll have an onyx signet on it, and it's on my. I'm telling you, everything I do has a purpose. It's on my pointer finger, and historically, putting a ring on your pointer finger signifies leadership, power, strength, and direction. So I say all that to say, if you wanted to explore crystals, if you're spiritually in tune, there might be something to it. Um, Try picking up a black tourmaline or a black onyx piece of gemstone or necklace or whatever. See if that works for you. Beyond that, you don't need those things. I would suggest you either say a word of prayer or you would try to get more in tune with your mental space uh, as it relates to meditation, things like that. See, the fact that you're aware, you feel aware to you feel like you have a demonic attack. We got to break down what a demonic attack is, right? This is how I come into an understanding of the nature of life and mentality and how we master our mentality. Um, what we view as a demonic attack may not necessarily be a horned individual latched on to our physical bodies or even our spiritual bodies. What we're experiencing the other side of the same coin. So whether that be from outside influences or just from ourselves, a demonic experience or something that is demonic is, even though it appears demonic, is still within your wheelhouse to deal with it. So you got to understand and have the faith and understanding to know that anything that you experience in this world, whether you feel like it comes from the outside or not, it's still rooted in how you internalize it or what you do or the work that you do on the inside. So what I can do personally is I can recommend a meditation if you already meditate that can maybe assist with this. Um, but in the short term, My only my only thing is my only piece of advice is that you need to seek out maybe counsel with somebody that actually has firsthand experience with driving out demonic forces. If you feel like that's something you're dealing with, you can even read your Bible. You can ask for spiritual guidance to push you through this. But just know on the other side of it, you're gonna be on the next. You're gonna be on the up and up on the other side of it. You're well within your power to overcome it yourself. But as far as demonic forces, if you're thinking of it in the traditional sense, I don't know that I can help you there. I gave you some things that, as far as I see it, uh, I believe would help. But so that's another tangent, another rant. But let's go ahead and let's stay on focus with what I was talking about as far as meditation tips. So all that being said, there I've come to the conclusion that sage and meditating about chalk and spiritual guides is what caused me these demonic attacks because I see now it's illusion. There's always truth. There's always truth and stuff of what tricks and tarot. Yeah, I feel that. So I'm gonna tell you this: meditating, spiritual guides, demonic attack because I see now it's illusion. Truth, what? Yeah, you're right. You are 100% right. You are 100% right. So if you know God and the Bible is the way specifically for you, then you need to lean on the understanding and know that God is already within you. God resides in you. You've got all the information, you got all the tools that you need. For me personally, I don't dabble in tarot. I don't dabble in sage. I don't dabble in spells. That stuff to me is too outside of our temple, who we are. So going inward, if meditation is what got you, if meditation got you to a point to where you feel like you have a demonic attack, then I'm gonna say, and please just follow me on this. I'm not gonna say you were doing it wrong, but you may have had guided meditations that were of ill intent. For me, I started meditating without guided meditations. I went inward. And I was meditating at a time where I was reading the Bible heavy, and I used meditation as a means of prayer and as a means of sharpening my imaginational skills so that I could become the person and form the person that I'm moving to be. So I would ask what you were meditating on, what you were meditating for, the environment you were meditating on. Were you doing guided meditations? Did you start doing guided meditations? How long did you do meditations? Um, when done correctly and when done in a mental headspace where you are aware and where you have a certain spiritual maturity, you shouldn't come across these issues. Um, Me personally, the whole sage and all that, I'm not, I don't know everything, so I'm not going to say these things don't work. Um, but for me, I feel like what God has given us, what God has given me is more than enough as far as the inside. So back to what I was saying with the meditations. So when I meditate, there's a part of the meditation where you hold your three fingers together, and that's supposed to drum up the feelings of abundance, thankfulness, and the target image of the human being that you're building. Well, what I started doing is I started meditating with uh, my necklace, and I started meditating with other physical cues that on a daily basis would keep me in a certain mind state or a type of altered state, excuse me, that was relative to the person that I'm building. And so the effect that I found is that 24/7, I'm already living this person with these principles and these ideals. Doesn't mean that I've physically fully become that person, but in other ways I have. So as far as being present, you said I was off my game for a week, so I stopped using it. Like, yeah, I don't. Let me tell y'all right now. Like I said, I don't get into the whole crystal stuff. I don't. I researched this crystal. necklace and this because of the historical value. So what I do is I look at what the most influential ancient people dating back to biblical and pre-biblical time. Like people don't understand actually there's a crest that was given to Aaron in the Bible that had an assortment of different gems and crystals which represented each tribe, but each of those crystals and gems also corresponded with a certain type of protection or gift. Satan was also given the same shield, but it was void of three crystals. Those three crystals, one of the crystals was to procreate and have a bloodline. One of them was to, man, I can't remember what the other two, but basically it withdrew Satan's ability to have a long lasting effect on earth, and it ensured his end or his demise. Like he didn't get, dude, it's so deep. So if I know that that's in the Bible, and I know that ancient Egypt and ancient Kemet religions and Mesopotamian religions revered stones and revered crystals in a way that affected their realities or that communicated a feeling or communicated something about them, then I latch on to that because I view the ancient man or the ancient woman as way more far in advance than who we are today. I feel like we've been dumbed down. We've been led astray through so many different channels, whether that be um, New Age or some types of prosperity Christianity. We've been led astray from the original man and the original woman. And so I pay homage to what they believe because they were so effective. Like I read about the Ma'at and what they believed about how you should live your life and being a stand up and upright person. And me, that's why my business is called Verity Ventures because that is what I want. I've been on a thirst for this stuff since I was a kid. And I never really came out and talked about it because I never really had too many people outside of my father to discuss a lot of these things with. When my father passed, it caused me to get it caused me to go through my version of hell and deal with a lot of the corners of my mind that I not dealt with. Like I have not had the best relationship with my family and certain people in my family, but through going through this stuff and taking these steps and having principles for my life and building the man that I'm building, I've been able to forgive those people and release myself. A lot of limited belief, setbacks, and hardship that we experience is because we have a blocking of energy or we have a blocking of blessings because we won't forgive. We won't forgive. We don't open our hearts to giving. I was stone cold. I did not like giving like tithe and things like that because, to me, I felt like y'all gotta understand, I studied the Bible to no end. I was thirsty for these answers like nobody's business. I'm not just saying it to sound cute. I researched tithing and I was like, no, it's not biblical because you had to be of the Levitical priesthood to give 10% of your crops the first of, regress. They were light years ahead. When I hear you say commit, I know you about that. So, dude, man, yeah, man or woman, I'm sorry I didn't read the name. Yeah, yes, sir, I am. But uh, I was deep in all that stuff. And I don't know if it's because my lineage, my upbringing, or what, because I've always had questions. It doesn't make me any better than the next person, but it does help me realize that we have been lied to about our past to see what's truth really and what to believe. It is, but I'm gonna tell you this. Here's the truth. Here's the truth. Here's what I've come as the truth. There is a creator. There is a God. There's a supreme being. And the reason why I believe this is because we live in such a vast, diverse universe, but it's all interconnected through one fabric. I mean, there's so many clues and patterns that all interconnect on so many different facets to the way the world is set up, to the atmosphere, to looking at things on a microbiological standpoint, looking at things, look above the message I sent. Let's see. Everything nowadays is so overthought in society. Like you're saying, people automatically view different as negative sometimes. The truth of what it really is blocked because of all these views. I agree. I agree with that. Let's see. They were like, yeah, it's so overthought. I agree, and I think that they want us to be confused, so they give us the opportunity to see so much information and so many different things. They want us to be confused, but see, I look at the root of everything to understand it fully, and the root of our human existence, the past, is not what we were taught in school. Like you said, we were light years ahead of where we are now. Nikola Tesla is one of my most favorite humans of all time. He's one of the people why he's one of the people why um, I started to look into science, physics, quantum mechanics, and things like that a little bit more closely. He was raised under I believe his father was a preacher and he was a pastor or a minister in Serbia. So he was raised in a Christian family, Christian, biblical spiritual family. And here's the truth. Nikola Tesla once said he never invents anything that he doesn't create first perfectly in his mind. Quote. So when I look at somebody like that was able to create the things that he created, I'm like, there's got to be something to this. So the truth of the matter is, we all have a piece of God in us. We're all connected. We all come from the same substance. That's why we have to treat everybody with respect. That's what it means to love your neighbor, love your enemy, bless your enemy. That's what it means. Now, don't get it twisted. What I'm saying is not we we are not supposed to be so enlightened that we don't defend ourselves. I believe there's a um, righteous violence, I guess, to protect oneself, especially when one's mission is to expand and help the kingdom, if you will, right? They did it in the Bible, they did it in other religions, but protect does not mean being on the offense to destroy. And I think that's a lot of what Christianity did in the beginning and why so many people get rubbed the wrong way. But I keep getting off on tangents. What I was getting at with the purpose of this video is I have this and other things that serve as visual cues to keep me grounded and to keep me true to the person that I'm building, the man that I'm building, and the legacy that I'm building. I don't need them. I don't need them, you know. But as I'm getting into this mindset and this person, I use them as visual cues during my meditation to help me keep grounded, help keep me protected. The truth of the matter is, everything that we see today, no matter what it is, came from imagination, came from thought. It came from a place that was not physical to be built in the physical. Everything from the trees to, and I believe that came from the mind of the creator, from the trees to streets to humans to everything. I mean, you got to think when you have a kid, when you have a child, and you really think about the beauty of it. It's like, yo, this is different. You know what I mean? Like this is different. And you realize that's where you came from, like the same things. You came from the marrying not only of your mother and father in most cases, or in a lot of cases, in some cases, but from two spiritual forces, the masculine and feminine energy that sprung forth from those two people joining together in a perfect union to create a life. Yo, that's deep. So, man, there's so much that I can there's so many different ways I can get into to talk about what I've learned and what I've been applying in my life. And in other ways, like as far as the mentality goes, like the way that I'm building myself is I'm focusing on the mentality first. You're a servant being, and you can declare that you do not consent to spiritual attack or energies entering you. Fact. Fact. You can declare. That's a fact. It is a fact. So, um, so yeah, I meditate with these things as visual cues to keep me grounded at all times. And it's been working so far, man. It's helped me be more active. Now there are other areas in my life, like So right now, the way I'm building myself is mentality first, physicality second, and then I focus on like material and monetary things because right now in the paradigm that we're in, money's just needed, you know. And some of the things that I want to do, some things I want to have require more money. And my money story used to be one of negativity. Like I used to think it was not noble to make money. It was not a good thing to make a lot of money. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel that money is just a means of exchange and it's directly connected to your ability to impact and help others. I mean, look at anything, impact and serve others, anything, you name it. That's how we view money. That's how I view money. But so whenever you're meditating, if you're spiritually mature and you feel like you can connect in a way where you understand that you are protected by your own devices, nothing outside of you is required. Um, I would advise like getting into maybe a hand gesture, or maybe you can have a piece of jewelry or something that could be a visual cue in your environment to constantly, excuse me, to constantly replay that feeling and those thoughts of imaginations. Because as you do that, you'll start to create that person in the real world in your waking life, and that's what I've been fortunate to be able to do. I used to be afraid of taking next steps. I used to be afraid of risking and doing things that could be risky. But now I have a type of confidence in myself through who I'm building that's it's unshakable. It's unshakable. Like Trailer, my mentality is way stronger. I think meditating might help clear everything since I overthink about what's true. The thing that started everything was that what's truth was what's truth and what's not. Yeah. So there's power in that statement you just said. Think about that. My mentality is way stronger. I think meditating might help clear everything since I overthink about what's true. The thing that started everything was what's truth and what's not. All right, let me give you a little insight into my story. On the other side of this battle that you're on is ultimate freedom because I had a similar story when I was 18, 19, I believe. I was deep into my Bible and being a good person and trying to do things the right way and being seen as a good person in God's eyes. So I was walking around with my Bible everywhere. I hopped around to different churches because the church I was at started to put it was a mega church. I was about on two different sides. Like, what does God want? What do I do in His will? And if I'm doing something wrong, I've been held back from that because of two sides from this new age. Yeah, new age is tricky. But new age definitely gleans from some of the ancient religions and tries to put the focus on us a lot more, like us being divine, which we are in a sense, but we can't say that we created the world. We can't say that we created the rules either. So this is not new age. But I had a similar occurrence in my journey. I was studying with different people because the church that I grew up in was a small church turned into a mega church. There was a lot of prosperity preaching. That was fine. But as a kid, I don't think about bills. I don't care about none of this. I don't care about relationships. I used to bury my head in my mom's back between the pew and fall asleep. I didn't care about any of that stuff. So what I did was I started to get fed up when I saw they put ATMs outside of the sanctuary. So I started going to different churches for answers. I studied with Jehovah Witness. I had books on agnostic. I had books on yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Um, so I went to one church and the church was a Methodist church, and they said, "Who have you discipled? Who have you brought to Christ?" And I was like, "Man, I ain't brought nobody to Christ." So I said, "If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm gonna study every way that I can. I'm gonna study from an atheist, agnostic, a devout Christian. I'm gonna study from iconic traditional Christian. I mean, I did all types of that stuff, right? And I studied with Jehovah's Witness. I sat down with them and I learned what they learned. And I looked at, my father had a Quran in the house because he was on the same journey when he grew up and I didn't even know it. I studied the Quran, not too in depth, but I studied parts of the Quran. It was hard to read for me. I studied everything. And then I got to this point where I was like, man, what is truth? Like, what? Like, how do I know any of this matters? So many different versions of the truth. How do I know any of this matters? And I had a short bout of depression to the point to where I would think like, if I just drive this car off the cliff, how do I know it even matters? You know what I mean? Like, I can't get the truth. How do I know any of this matters? And that would be what I call my demonic stage. You know what I mean? I mean, I had other things that happened as far as depression goes, where I would trick myself into thinking that if I wasn't here, it would be easier for everybody else because I'm a failure. Looking back on that, man, it's hilarious. Like if I saw a photo or video of who I am today, uh, back then I'd be like impossible, right? Excuse me. And what brought me out of that was realizing that I was looking for everything outside of myself for the answers, and I was discrediting the God that was in me. I was looking for everything outside of me. Everything outside of me. I was looking for books, opinions of man's. I looked at debates. I had a Strong's Concordance. I was reading script. I mean, I looked at everything outside of myself, knowing that I am one part of the whole. I am one part of the infinite. I am one part of God. Like most major religions told us of the divinity within us. And I knew this. And I wasn't spending time with myself to battle my own demons. I wasn't looking for the truth and the beauty and the gratefulness in myself and my life and what God has given me and my circumstances. I was harping on what was true or what was not, what I could lean on, but I wasn't harping on the power that I was given. I was ignoring that. And so all those outside distractions kept me from the one truth that all of us should know is that we are powerful beyond measure. If we weren't, there would not be such a concerted effort to keep us separated and divided on so many fronts: race, religion. If you can keep humans divided, you can control humans very, very easily. Because I believe the power is essentially neutral, but the Creator favors those that favor themselves and hold themselves in that regard, high esteem. Um, People that give. That's why, like, the Ten Commandments are so, like, now on this side, the Ten Commandments are powerful. Um, all right, man. I'm talking too much, man. I'm talking too much. But what I can say for you, if you feel like you have a spiritual attack, um, what the last person commented was powerful. Uh, the last thing I saw the person say is, via vortex, you are a sovereign being, and you can declare that you do not consent to a spiritual attack or energies entering your auric field. Whether you believe in auric fields or not, you can declare this. You can imagination is something that I've worked with to the point to where it's like seamless. If you get your imagination on point, which essentially is prayer, imagination is essentially thought married with feeling. I was fed up with scared when I had questions. I was interested in two different liberal in college when I took world literature, and I knew then that we are being controlled by fear. Fact. Every facet, and that's why I started the war at birth. And I talked about, I've been talking about fear and how from a young age we've been inundated with fear. We've been inundated with trauma, and that affects who we are as we grow into adulthood. Like I used to be afraid of going to sleep at night because of, I mean, I think a lot of people dealt with it. I used to be afraid of being in the dark because of what I couldn't see. Because of a show or or goosebumps. I used to be afraid of stupid stuff, you know what I mean? And it's because I allowed my imagination. We're all a fractal of source energy or God, and the matrix is designed to keep you blinded and looking outside of yourself to keep it. I had to stop and acknowledge that. That's the truth. That's the ultimate truth. I got a meme that I'm gonna post on my Instagram and it says, "What if I told you that Waiting on Christ to return is a distraction to keep you from the Christ within you. It's like, dang, that's a fact. Anything that keeps you focused on the outside, and listen, I know hearing this from somebody, if you're not, if you haven't spent the time to battle your demons, and what I say, like your demons, is anything that keeps you outside of living life in abundance and just grace. Because everybody knows what's holding them back. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. If what part hit hard? The we're all fractal source of energy or what? Because that's truth. I like that. That's powerful. But anything that keeps you outside of that is your demon. Anything that keeps you from making something, because inherently we already know what's beneficial for us. We know what we need, and we know what we know what we're doing to keep ourselves away from it. That's the crazy part. It's almost like being a lion locked into a cage. Think about that. Like like when I see a lion, or I'm gonna flip the switch a little bit. Let's think about elephants, right? Elephants are some of the most powerful, thick-skinned animals on Earth. But the way that they control elephants in the zoo is from birth. They take a stake, they drive it into the ground, they connect a rope to it, and tie the rope around the elephant's foot. At that age, the elephant is not yet strong enough to free itself from this bondage. It's just not. It can't do it. It takes like the rate at which an elephant grows is like exponentially faster than a lot of other animals. And I mean, like, as far as size and strength. Like within a month or so, you know what's keeping you away because you know, but it's about how you do it is when you get stuck. It's not about knowing what is keeping you away because you know, but it's about how do you do it is when you get stuck. Uh, how you do it. I guess I could agree with that. I could agree with that. Um, but I believe that knowing what's keeping you away from who you want to be and what you're trying to do with your life, knowing is the first step. You've got to get to the root of it. So if you know that you can't have the career you want because you feel unworthy, you have to dig deep to your roots to find out why you feel unworthy. So you have to start at the beginning. Start with your parents. Start with your situation as to why you came into this world. Think about your upbringing. Think about those things, why they thought that way. What type of hypnotic trance were you placed in when you first came into this world? Because studies show that our brain frequencies are in a frequency that is synonymous with hypnosis. Everything we experience up until the age of 7, different studies show 5 to 7, can show you what type of person you're going to be. Um, so I glean a lot from my upbringing, and it helps me understand myself and my path a whole lot more. So yes, knowing yourself, knowing the problem and why you hold yourself back, I believe is the most important. Focusing on how to do it is what cost me so many years of my life trying to figure it out. And I think it's different for everybody, but trying to answer that question is what helped me get the answers. You've got to be willing to go on this journey. You got to be willing to listen to people that's gone through it and try things. Christ is an archetype for that story or that journey. You are connected to you're connected to a God that's bigger than this world, this universe, this galaxy. I mean, it's unfathomable how big God is. I could go on so many different tangents on how big God is, but I'm just gonna keep on what I was talking about with the elephant. Um, so the elephant's growth is exponentially faster than a lot of other animals in the animal kingdom, right? And within about a month's time, I believe, an elephant could like literally snap free. That's why the fifth one, yes, yeah, and that's why you can look the most hardened criminal can look at a kid and smile. Like a lot of times, I heard stories of like cartels being ordered to go to a house and kill parents of kids and the kids, but like a lot of times they'll stop and say no, let the kids live. I think it's because of that statement. One of the reasons you feel that God within you. Man, I don't know, man. That's a tangent. Let's just focus on what I'm saying, man. Y'all get me off my focus. So the elephant can break free within a month's time, but over time, that reinforcement over and over and over to you can't do it. You can't do it. You're not strong enough. You're not big enough. That reinforcement from being young starts to break down their power when they're old. So you can have this tiny human that will whip you into shape and make you throw apples in the air and roll on your stomach like a dog in front of hundreds of thousands of people. When really, you could decimate the entire operation and make your way back to the jungle where you belong. I forget the name of the elephant, but there's an elephant that went rogue and discovered its power. And it's one of my most favorite videos. Excuse me. Now, a lot of people, I resonated with it. A lot of people might view it differently and think that it's unfortunate for the circus workers. But man, I wish I remember her name. But this one elephant, I believe they call him Heifer. This one elephant discovered her power. She got fed up, and she started rampaging. The circus workers busted out of the circus, made her way into the city village, started busting cars up, busting people up. And that's the result of realizing your power. Like you just start breaking everything that's a symbol of your oppression. Like y'all gotta watch that video, man. Look up that elephant. Elephant breaks free from circus or something, man. That's one of my favorite things to witness is when animals tear that ass up that are in the circus. I love it because it's metaphorical. It's metaphorical. So, um, this was a long video. It's supposed to be just a hop in, but y'all know I can't do that with y'all. I do have to go because that's part of my principles. I've got to strive to continue to be on time. So I get this workout done. I think I have another live schedule for around 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Um, and I'll check in with y'all then. I'm going to be talking about how to make huge mental shifts that will affect your ability to go after what you want and have what you want in less time. I'm trying to shorten the curve for you guys because I wasted a lot of time. I wasted a lot of time. Book coming soon, course coming soon. Actually, it's gonna come when it comes, when it's perfected. um, hmm, I just thought of something, and I'm not gonna share it right now because I don't want to put it out there until I've got it. I've got it planned out. Anyway, if there's nothing else that y'all need from me, I'm gonna go ahead and get this workout done. Appreciate y'all for being here. I hope this was a good talk. A lot of y'all brought a lot to the table. A few of y'all brought a lot to the table that was very beneficial. Understand that when I do these lives, I like them to be interactive because I'm always looking at both sides to everything. But I seen it was crazy. And that's why when tigers escape, they say you have to kill them as they walk and their true power will never be captured. Fact. Yeah, I love that video. It's one of my favorite videos. Um, that's metaphorical too. Shoot, uh, with humans. But I appreciate y'all. I really do. I hope this was impactful in some way. I like to see both sides to everything. Um, because I'm in a mind space now, who I am, I'm able to see both sides of everything and glean a little bit of truth, but it doesn't affect the one truth that I know applies to all of us. And that's what I hope you get to. Um, let's see, via vortex. I hope you get to that point where you can see both sides, but it doesn't put you on a wavering path. Yeah, of course. Thank you for being open and sharing. Um, you're gonna get there. Just take it from somebody that's gone through something similar. It does get better. It sucks while it happens, and you're gonna do some stuff and think some things he thought you would never think. But look at me, and I ain't perfect, but I'm definitely perfect and far more advanced and far more superior to the man that I was back in those days. Trust me. Trust me. I even I knew that I could break free of it. I got a video in the archive somewhere of where I was at back in those days. And when I've hit the pinnacle, everything that I'm looking at, I'm gonna share that video, and it's gonna be crazy. Uh, Peace Q just joined the live. So you're gonna have all been all. It always is. It's always like that when we get on the live. This is one of YouTube's best kept secrets. How do you plan your day? Structure your big plans into actionable steps. Great question. I'm gonna answer this, and I'm gonna hop off. So for me, my days are cyclical because I work in 24-hour shifts and 48-hour shift off, and some days I can't really do um, the things that I want to do because I have to take care of my daughter. So what I do is I always make a priority. So for me, the way that it goes, above all else, my spiritual walk. Can I get a shout out? Thank you for everything. I mean, hey, Ali Abdul Rashid. Shout out to Ali Abdul Rashid. I mean, hey, you just shouted yourself out. Do your thing. um, I always keep my relationship with God and my spirituality as it relates to who I am and what I'm putting out there first and foremost. No matter what. No matter what. And this, I had to realize this. I'm going to say this, and this may be controversial to some people. It comes before my daughter. It comes before my family, my wife. It comes before my business. It comes before work. My walk with God, Creator, Source, and my spiritual life is the most important thing, period. And that, because that affects everything else. That affects everything else. So when I'm looking at going towards my goals and planning things out, I don't even get too deep into the trenches of that if I have not prioritized that walk first. That coincides with my mentality. So that allows me to even put a plan into place to work on it daily. So I say first and foremost, that's where my first priority lies. Second of that is my mentality and my goals as it relates to my mentality. So as far as my goals go, priority peak unshakable health and fitness. So what I do is I hope I'm back. I had a phone call come in. So what I do is I do not focus, me personally, I do not focus on the massive. Are we back? Are we back? Are we live? Are we back? Y'all let me know if you can hear me and I'll continue. Let me know if you can hear me and I'll continue. Cool. So the mistake that I used to make is thinking that I need to make massive action in chunks, right? So what I do with my goals, I don't beat myself up if I miss a day of massive action. But what I commit to is I commit to doing something small but yet impactful every day towards my goals in the order of prioritization. The reason why we do this is because we're building. We're building towards being worthy of a goal. We're building healthy habits towards being able to achieve goals more effectively. So if it's just study, so like for my business, every day I listen to material about the business and learn about the software, learn about the platform that I'm using. I learn about that stuff and I put it into action in some kind of way every day. And I commit to doing the smallest version of what I can do in that time frame. And that is what allows me to see growth in so many different areas of my life. So whether that be posting a YouTube video or a live, like I want this channel to grow, but I can't always sit and edit and do a video. So I do a live and I talk about what's on my mind. That's part of my goals, to continuing to grow this channel and have an influence in people's lives and build a community to where we can come together and do things like this. So my next thing is the fitness. So how I do my fitness, I work out every day. If that workout is just push-ups, air squats, and pull-ups, It doesn't matter. I do it. If that workout's just walking every day or jogging or running, I do it. I do it because what we're doing is we're building every day towards a goal. And this is something that was taught to me by my father. My father said, no matter what I do, I try to do something small towards my business every day. And that's why I saw success. My father was making like 18K. He was making 5 figures a month back in the 90s. Started from absolutely nothing. He was working at Kroger, buffing floors, cleaning windows, turned into a whole operation in Middle Tennessee. Um, yeah. So I guess the condensed version is always mentality and spirituality first and relationship with God. That's first and foremost. I'm sorry if you disagree, but there's just you you have to believe in something higher than yourself. You just have to. You have to because it exists and it helps you. I mean, that is what it is. Second is prioritizing your goals, but you can't get there unless you know exactly what you want. You have to know what you want out of life, and based on knowing what you want, you prioritize your goals accordingly. And without spreading yourself too thin, do something in order of prioritization every day, even if it's just the smallest action. So if you've got like if health and fitness is lower on your totem pole or your hierarchy of needs and you miss a day of working out, that's not as detrimental of reaching your goal because it's not as highly prioritized. For me, business, finances, prosperity, things like that, and my health are at the top of my list. So I prioritize those things. I do the smallest that I can possible towards those things every day. But lower down the list I go, the lower down the list I go, the prioritization wanes a little bit. So if for me, I don't know, let's say if I want to be a better cook, I'm just making something up. If I don't learn a recipe or I don't cook for that day, it's not detrimental because as far as what I feel is going to advance me and my movement and my legacy further, that doesn't bother me to miss out on a day of doing that. And that's how I do it. So yeah, I hope that made sense. I hope that helped somewhat in some way. But I'm gonna hop off this live because my priority right now is to get absolutely shredded to the bone and healthy. I've already dropped 10 pounds, probably dropped even more. I gotta go check. Doing it this way. Uh, and I'm gonna say this too. The reason why I do a little bit every day too, this way instead of taking massive action and stopping, good, uh, is because we want to build the habit of achievement. We don't want to just achieve, right? We want to build the habit of achieving. Um, so yeah, that's why I do a little bit each day. And it's funny because sometimes you start out doing a little bit and it ends up being massive, but it only took like 30 minutes to an hour, right? So, y'all stay tuned, man, because what I'm building over here for myself, my family, and people who are involved, I truly believe it's going to be something special. I appreciate you. I really do. Um, if even if nobody got on these lives, man, I'd still do them. I mean, I at least need one person because I'd be talking to myself. But yeah, long term, I'd like to have a team of people that will be around me that could help us make this something big, help break people out of this lie. If you breathing, you achieving. Me personally, yeah, but the old me, no. No, I wasn't. I was breathing and sleezing. I don't know. I was breathing and sleeping. I was asleep. But I'm awake now. All right, let's see what this workout in. I'll see y'all later. New video coming today or tomorrow. Y'all stay tuned for that. Appreciate y'all. And if y'all have voiced a concern or if you have voiced needing help with something, know that I keep you in my spirit. And when I meditate or I pray, I do pray for you guys. I do. Believe it or not, I do. My wife can tell you, I do. My mind works a million miles a minute. So I could do a live all day. This is why I wish I was at a point now to where I could quit my current job and do this full time because this is what gives me power. This is what gives me fulfillment, and it took me years to find this. Going through my journey and helping break people of that lie. Because sometimes you feel like religion and Christianity, the way that it's presented, doesn't do it. It's not enough. Sometimes you need somebody that's more accessible to help pull you through some of these things because they've actually gone through it. All right, we're done here. I appreciate y'all. Tune in next time. We got a live coming in about an hour schedule. I might have to pull it. I might have to reel it back a little bit. But until next time, stay cool, stay true, stay rooted in your true identity. I hope all your goals, dreams, aspirations become actualized in the real world because you are powerful and you can do it. That's what I tell my daughter every day when she says you can't. I stop her in her tracks to say you can. Say yes, I can, man. Yeah, we building kings and queens over here. All right. Peace. Love y'all.